I'm Morgan, a single mom working as a janitor at the police department, but I have a secret, a sharp mind. One day, I saw the murder case board and instantly knew the cops had it wrong. They'd mistakenly labeled the victim as the suspect. Without a second thought, I changed the board, crossing out suspect and writing in victim. The next day, Detective Derek, the lead on the case, was furious, demanding to know who touched the board. Surveillance showed it was me. My female supervisor warned me that interfering with a criminal case could land me in jail. I explained I was just correcting a mistake. Derek was livid, thinking a janitor shouldn't be telling him how to do his job after decades of experience. My supervisor ignored Derek's complaints and handed me the case file, asking me to explain. I started my performance, pointing out the victim was male, so it couldn't be a crime of passion between spouses. I meticulously analyzed the room. Sofa pillows perfectly arranged, decor flawless, the house spotless, indicating the owner was a neat freak. But one curtain tie-back was loose, which was odd. I deduced the tie-back had another purpose. I found tape residue on a chair, proving someone had been tied up. Yet, the victim's wrists had no marks, meaning there was a third person present and the actual homeowner was the victim. My deductions left Derek and the supervisor speechless. Derek still insisted on checking more surveillance. Right then, his subordinate reported that footage showed a woman entering the victim's house around the time of the murder. Derek felt a glimmer of satisfaction, thinking they finally had a lead. However, a quick glance at the footage told me it wasn't from the day of the crime. I explained that the wind in the video was blowing from the southeast, but this time of year, it should be from the northwest. The video was clearly months old. The officers were stunned by my expertise. I told them I was a busy mom with 3 kids. My supervisor learned about my extensive knowledge from documentaries and my photographic memory. I only needed 1 or 2 hours of sleep a day, instantly recognizing my potential. But my high IQ often made it hard for me to fit in, which is why I was a janitor. Right after leaving the precinct, I met the victim's daughter, a girl desperately looking for her mom. As a mother, I felt for her. My supervisor approached, offering to drop my fines and charges if I helped with the case. I accepted, not out of fear, but to help that girl. Joining the task force, I immediately debunked Derek's previous case analysis. Derek was annoyed, but my supervisor encouraged me to continue. Derek and I went to question the victim's sister. I noticed dust on most of the trinkets, except for a pair of frogs, which had the name of a small resort town on their base. I deduced the sister's family had recently visited, but for high-powered executives, a town known only for a water park and karaoke didn't fit their profile. Back at the victim's house, I found a photo on her daughter's phone from 3 days before the murder showing fresh flowers. Yet, in the police's crime scene photos, the flowers were wilted, despite lasting 4 to 5 days. I linked this to the sister being a biologist and her husband, a security consultant. I theorized they used the room's greenhouse effect to manipulate the estimated time of death, creating an alibi. I also pointed out the sister wouldn't kill her own sibling. This explained why they went to that childhood town. The police quickly moved in. They found another bound victim in a cabin, and the case was solved. The department offered me a formal position, but after thinking it over, I declined. The demanding pace of detective work wasn't suitable for raising 3 kids. My supervisor assured me the offer would remain open, and Derek nodded in agreement. Watching the mother and daughter embrace, I felt a deep sense of satisfaction. Helping people brought me joy, and maybe this detective work was exactly what I was meant to do. Finally, I made one request. I needed them to find a person named Roman Sinketa.